Hello everybody, welcome. So I'm here going to do a client presentation on UK property and financial assets in terms of UK property. My name is Rishi Harani. I grew up in Ireland. I'm originally from India and I have a UK registered company in the name of Univesco Limited. We mainly focus on real estate, so purchase of property, agency, in terms of dealing with off-market residential and commercial property. And we also focus on student developments these days as well. So I'll be presenting the property and the presentation on the financial assets, not just UK property in terms of real estate of commercial and residential, but also focus on how to diversify your portfolio. So just by purchasing a UK property, it's not that you're owning a house, you're also diversifying your portfolio. Let's say you have a portfolio of equities, bonds, property, it's the real estate portfolio. You're diversifying your portfolio. It's a passive income portfolio. You'll be making income on that portfolio. How? In terms of rental income. You can lease out, if it's a commercial property, you can lease out to companies. London attracts the best of the best talents. So big companies, startups are always looking for space. Students are always looking for space to rent out accommodation. Private renters are looking for space to rent out. So we have young families, old people, young people always looking for space to rent out or even purchase their first home. So if we start off with the presentation today, so the contents will be based on London property market. We're going to talk about the Brexit. We're going to talk about investments available with Univesco, and we're going to focus on advantages and asset diversification of UK property. These 4 apartment blocks that you see are one of the most coveted apartment blocks in the whole of central London. This is one of the most pristine neighbourhoods in London, Knightsbridge, just opposite Harrods, and these apartments are called One Hyde Park. If you, I'm not sure if you can see from the picture, but each of these apartment blocks are in a different height. The reason being to attract the best light possible. So London, our property developers in London focus so much on the needs of the clients, and that's what we do at Univesco as well. The needs of our clients, that they focus very specific things to satisfy the client. As I said, London attracts the best of the best talent. All the startups are located in London. London is one of those markets where every startup wants to gain a huge market share. London attracts tech investment, and London has a very stable business environment to do business in, to invest in, and pound is one of the most stable currencies in the world. Why is London so familiar? Currency. Pound, as I said, is one of the most stable currencies. It's part of the SDR special drawing rights. Pound, euro, dollar, and Chinese RMB. They are one of the most stable currencies in the world. Education. UK has one of the best educational establishments. We have familiarity. People know London. People have been to London. Transparency. The tax regime and transparency. People understand how British people work. People understand how the British tax system works. People understand how the British company jurisdiction, how the British way of conducting business, how the British way of conducting with diverse people work. So hence, London always attracts the best of the best investors and talent. So nature. London has unique locations. If you have a lot of money to invest, we can source some properties for you in central London. If your budget is limited, we can always find the perfect accommodation, perfect suitable property which satisfies and suits your needs. World capital. London is London. Everybody knows London. It's the city to live in. London, New York, Tokyo, Melbourne. Liquidities. You can buy and sell your property quickly. If you want to buy, there's plenty of options available. If you want to sell, your property will be sold very quickly. Diversification, as I mentioned before, asset diversification. Just by purchasing UK property, you're focusing on the whole portfolio. And London, the land is finite. At the end of the day, there's not enough land, and London keeps growing, the population keeps increasing, so the prices will always go up. Brexit means bargain. So if you notice this slide, most of the European investors, this is focusing on institutional investors, family offices, hedge funds, they are focusing on UK property for this year, 2019. Why? Because they believe because of the pound, cheaper pound, it is the perfect time to invest in the UK. How will Brexit affect? So as you probably hear the news or watching the news or monitoring the news very carefully, Brexit, they keep getting an extension. At the end of the day, London has maintained the stability of the market of property and the currency. So when I say London, London is England in terms of finance. So if the government and if the Bank of England can maintain the pound, up until now with so much uncertainty, for sure in the future, pound will maintain its value. It will depreciate a little bit if there's a Brexit, a hard Brexit, but it won't be a substantial difference. Currently, it's offering amazing opportunities for investors to invest in London because of the cheaper pound. Why? A, cheaper pound, you get more for your buck, more for what you invest in. B, if there is a soft Brexit, pound will definitely go up, so you're going to make some more money on the appreciation of the pound. This is just following the market trajectory. So of course, market is never like this. If a market is always like this, that's on a healthy market. So market will always follow the trajectory. And UK property, the yields on offer in the UK property are always beating inflation. And currently the UK inflation is about 2.8%. Why invest with Univesco? So we help you to diversify your portfolio. We focus on intergenerational lending. I have some clients who basically want to purchase a property to be able to pass on to their kids when they go to study in the UK, when they want to, when they're a bit older, the kids are a bit older, they can pass on that property to them. So there are many ways why clients are always looking to invest in the UK. Later life, some of them just might want a retirement home in the future when they want to move to London after they retire. And some of them just want a supplementary income. As I mentioned before, London offers passive income. Properties in London offer passive income. How? By renting out the property, the yields are so good, the capital appreciation is so good, you're definitely going to make your money. On average, you make about 5% per day on capital appreciation in London property. This is a billionaire founder, hedge fund founder of Citadel. It's a hedge fund based in Chicago. He recently purchased a property right beside Buckingham Palace, just stone's throw away from Buckingham Palace. And he got a 30 million discount on the asking price. He bought it for 95 million pounds. This particular property on the right is what Ken Griffin has bought, and that's Buckingham Palace on the left. Different types of investments available in London, so I'll just focus on as a private individual investor, or if you're an institutional investor, what kind of options are available. As a private investor, you have residential property. As an institutional investor, you can focus on commercial property. You can focus on industrial, retail, office, agricultural land, apartment blocks. Different types of investments available in London. Property will always yield good returns in London. On average, the rents increased by 1% per month in the UK. Last year, 2018, there was an average increase of 13% for the whole year in terms of the rent. That's how much return is available in the UK property market. Supply and demand, location, amenities. It depends. If you want to buy a buy-to-let home, as a foreign investor, you're not subject to the same taxes as a local investor, as a local resident investor. Hence, to be able to purchase the property, we at Univesco will assist you with optimizing your tax portfolio. So we'll help you to structure your property portfolio in such a way that it'll be owned by an offshore company. You'll pay the least amount of taxes applicable to you. Not just by the least amount of taxes, we'll also act as an agency where we'll be able to manage your property for you. So if something breaks down in the house, something needs repair, we're there to fix it for you. We do the management, we do the agency, we also focus on securing a perfect deal right for you. London is one of the top destinations in the world for investment. As you can see the figures, so far 16.2 billion has been invested in central London, and we are in November. So 11 months of this year, 16.2 billion has been invested. 14.3 in Manhattan in New York, 12 billion in Paris, and only 8 billion in Hong Kong. Now this figure is up to date, but this figure is not taken into account the unrest in Hong Kong for the past couple of months. Hence this figure is representing the early part of 2019, not the latter part of 2019. I believe so. This figure hasn't increased much. However, we're expected that 16.2 billion will be anywhere up north of 20 billion by the year end. Chinese investors, 25% of the investment is by Chinese. So far, 3.4 billion has been invested in 2018. This year so far has been 4.5 billion in 2019. We're expecting that figure to be at least 5 billion by year end, by 31st of December this year. Korean investors, this particular building is bought by Samsung, the largest company in South Korea, for 315 million in 2018. And we have Hong Kong buyers. CK Asset Holdings have paid 1 billion in June 2018 for this particular building here. So we are attracting Hong Kong buyers, mainland China buyers, South Korean buyers, Japanese buyers, Indian buyers, Russian buyers. We're attracting the most richest people on the planet. Why? Because London is London, the whole world capital flows. 15 years ago, 10 years, even 10 years ago, it was mostly the rich Arabs purchasing central London properties. These days, anybody with money wants to purchase UK property. Why? Because UK property is one of the safest safe havens in the world.